Welcome back to the news at 10. Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Makwe Hogun. Makwe.
Thank you, Ijoma. Well, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Mr. Osani Uguru, has unveiled a 2-year working plan for the development of the Niger Delta region. At a press conference after a closed-door meeting with representatives of state governors and oil prospecting companies from the region in Abuja, the minister said the working plan will guide all development efforts in the region. He also appealed to leaders from the region to join hands and make the development plans work.
You all know this is a platform we have established in line with the responsibility of the ministry to coordinate development programs and affairs of the Niger Delta region. And by this, all parties carrying out development projects and programs and plans in the region are members of this platform. By September, we are likely to have the Niger Delta Council or National Council on Niger Delta taking place. Again, I remind you, why you are important in all this is because without you, the ministry has no work. For today, we are able to see a draft report of the 2017 to 2019 work plan. We are not saying action plan or master plan. We are saying work plan. That means by this plan, our work will be guided. So we are not just formulating what we will do. We are now talking about how we will do it, where we will do it, who will do it. So that is why it is called a work plan for the next 1.5 years between 2017 and 2019. We are from the region. No one will develop it for us. We have to develop it for ourselves. And therefore, we solicit the cooperation of those who should benefit from this to give room for that development to take place. From now, I want to assure you, no more kingpins coming to take what belongs to the people.
Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Mr. Osani Uguru. While staying with the Niger Delta, the acting president is expected to visit Rivers State on Thursday to commission some projects. This was made known by the state governor, Nyesom Wike, at the government house in Port Harcourt. Meanwhile, against the backdrop of the recent floods in the state, the governor has appealed to the people to desist from blocking the waterways.
We are doing everything possible to see that we solve the problem of flooding within the city. But our support I require from you too, those of you who have been blocking waterways, building on waterways, you are part of the problem. So if you build on waterway, there's no way water will find its own way. So help us. Some of you who are mechanics, who have used your old vehicles to block waterways, please, I want to beg you that we must work together to make the city to look fine. No one person can do it alone.
Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. Now, the Senate Committee on Power has commended the host communities of the Zungeru hydroelectric power plant in Niger State for their support of the ongoing power sector reforms. During an oversight tour of the state, members of the committee, led by the chairman, Senator Einaya Abaribe, applauded the level of work done so far and asked the federal government to complete the funding of the project. Meanwhile, the state government says all issues of compensation that has set the project back have been taken care of.
This is the Zungeru hydroelectric power plant in Niger State. After several setbacks to the project, members of the Senate Committee on Power are on a tour of this facility. And upon arrival, the director in charge of the project, Engineer Johnson Adeomi, takes them through a presentation session. Going by the terms of the contract, the handlers say they are satisfied with the manner of funding and the impact on the economy of the host community.
This is the biggest construction project going on in Nigeria today. and is generating more than 4,000 labor force for the nation.
The lawmakers were then taken round the facility. The chairman of the committee, Senator Enyinaya Abaribe, commends the level of work done and hopes that the executive arm of government releases the remaining funds for the project.
Even though there's been some delay, so we have had to have a new completion date, but we think that if things go the way they should continue to go and this project is funded as it ought to be, that they will deliver power from this project in 2019.
A member of the committee representing Niger North Senatorial District, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, sends a message to his kinsmen to support the project in their community.
Sometimes we are in a hurry to get certain things done, but what the concern should be is what happened after all of this is done. I think the Niger State government is making every effort to see that mistakes that have been done in the past are not done.
The state government insists all issues of compensation have been laid to rest and payment will soon commence.
The money is on the ground, but we are not ready to give anybody's money who is not entitled for the money. Money will be paid to those that deserve to receive the money.
The 700 megawatt Zungeru hydroelectric power project is the second major hydro power plant in Nigeria to supply power to the nation as part of the power sector transformation agenda of the federal government.
And it is good news for officers and soldiers of the Nigerian army fighting Boko Haram terrorists in the theater of war in the northeast of Nigeria, as 6,199 of them have just been promoted. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, who approved the special promotion, urged them to increase the tempo of the ongoing clearance operations of Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast. 329 staff sergeants were promoted to warrant officers, 371 surgeons promoted to staff sergeants. 707 corporals have also been promoted to sergeants. Others include 1,219 lance corporals who have now been promoted to corporals, while 3,502 privates are now lance corporals. Well, that's all from Abuja. It's back to Lagos now, where Melinda Akinlame is standing by with business news. Melinda?
You first. First Bank.
Many thanks, Malpe. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission today issued a notice that all market operators and public liability companies will be required to show evidence of a clean federal tax status from March the 31st, 2018. SEC explains that the evidence of tax payment would form part of each operator's mandatory submissions to the regulator. A circular issued today by SEC reminds all capital market institutions, including quoted companies, that there will be constant checks in order to ensure that no fraudulent tax returns were submitted for assessment. The Federation's Accounts Allocation Committee has shared 652 billion naira as statutory allocations to the three tiers of government. The amount is made up of revenue generated from oil and non-oil sources that were paid into the Federation account. The Accountant General, Mr. Idris Ahmed, told journalists in Abuja that the statutory revenue received for July stood at 570.8 billion naira, which represents an increase from the previous month, while the 29.89 billion naira was approved for sharing to oil-producing states. The decision by the Central Bank of Nigeria to retain all key interest rates comes as no surprise to a panel of analysts on Channels Television's Business Morning program today. They attribute the decision to the current state of the economy, which needs to be handled with care.
Already aware that the economy should be recovering, but it's a very fragile one, and it's driven by particularly fragile factors such as stability in the Niger Delta area and so on. So that is not something that is particularly new. For me, what I'm a bit surprised by is the emphasis placed on that factor, giving other considerations, especially given what I feel is seriously sticky inflation, and given that the price mandate is still the primary aim of the central bank, and we do expect stronger fiscal policy in the coming months. I would have expected a bit more sort of confidence to properly tackle the inflation arm, but he quite rightly pointed out that we should be concerned about.
We are doing so well, so it's apt that we should note that the recovery that we are seeing is indeed fragile. But again, the buck will stop at the desk of both the monetary managers and the fiscal manager, which of course the governor mentioned, if I may quote, he said the committee reiterate commitment, for example, to maintain and deepen flexibility in the foreign exchange market.
It's more bullish sentiments on the domestic market as the all-share index hit new two-year highs after the CBN reaffirmed its commitment to open the market to investors. Emana Amawe has the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Markets Report. The shares of listed banks surged 1.79% on Tuesday, just as the Central Bank of Nigeria announced no change to its interest policy position and kept all the parameters at the previous levels. The broader market index rose to a new 35,000 level by 0.32%. That also lifted total market value by 137 billion naira to 12.085 trillion naira. Two other leading sectors of the day were the oil and gas and the insurance sectors. Small cap healthcare company May & Baker led the gainers with a 10% jump, while Tier 2 lender Unity Bank topped the losers list with an 8.96% increase. A total of 288.57 million shares worth over 2.46 billion naira changed hands in 2,578 deals. The most actively traded stocks for the day are shares of UBA, Transcorp and Fidelity Bank. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Emana Amawe.
Ahead of the U.S. Federal Reserve's monetary policy meeting, the S&P 500 hit a record high that beat analyst expectations. But let's see how the rest of the market closed on Tuesday. That's Business News. It's back to you, Joma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Belinda. The People's Democratic Party and the Progressive People's Alliance are gearing up for the governorship elections in Anambra State, scheduled to hold on November the 8th, 2017. Now, both parties held meetings in Awka, the Anambra State capital. The PPA held its primary with Mr. Godwin Ezemo emerging as the party flag bearer, while the PDP promised all members a level playing field to contest in the party's primary.
Two parties with the goal of choosing the #1 citizen in Anambra State come November the 8th governorship election. The Progressive People's Alliance, the PPA, and the People's Democratic Party. While the PPA has already conducted its governorship primaries, the PDP is yet to do so. In Awka, the state capital, 358 delegates vote in favor of the lone aspirant. The verdict comes as no surprise. The national chairman of the party says voters should make their choice based on merit of the candidate.
Somebody that has a pedigree, somebody that has the capacity to have developed his own personal business to a point that is not willing to develop, that has developed his community, that also contributed to the growth and prosperity of his community.
For the PDP, it's a sigh of relief as they meet for the first time since the resolution of the party crisis at the national level.
We are here today to showcase that PDP is back and better. And since we are back and better, we have come to take what rightly belongs to us.
Perhaps as a lesson from that crisis, the state PDP chairman makes it clear that the party's mandate for governorship is open to all members who are so minded.
If you join the party today and fulfill the conditions of our party constitution, you will be qualified to contest in the gubernatorial primaries in Anambra State.
The Anambra State governorship election comes up in November, but every day is crucial leading to the polls, given the importance of the election to the people of the state.
Still ahead on the news at 10, League Management Company recommends withdrawal of 6 match officials from the Nigeria Professional Football League for poor performance. That's on sports. Do stay with us.